Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our lead story of the day is regarding yesterday's White House press briefing where reporters questioned Karine Jean-Pierre on the fourth set of classified documents that were found on Friday. And boy, oh boy, folks, did they get a little bit spicy with her. You're not going to want to miss this one. As always, support the show by hitting that like and subscribe button, leaving us a short, sweet comment down below. If you're unsure of what to write something as simple as good morning. We got an awesome community here that would love to engage with you in the comment section below or the live chat, as well as myself. So your help and support would be greatly appreciated. Well, our first segment here is Zeke Miller of the Associated Press kicking this off. As always, again, folks, if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, now's the time to do so. Where he asks her a question about, hey, the president says he takes classified documents seriously, and he was surprised to find out that documents were found at the Biden Penn Center. But was he surprised about the documents that were found at his home on Friday after 3 sets of documents were found at his home? Here's what she had to say.
Free.
On the,
I'm sure they won't be shy to follow up.
On the FBI search of the president's home on Friday, the president, when the initial batch of documents were reported a couple of weeks ago, said he was surprised the documents that there were classified documents found at the Penn Biden Center. Was he surprised that there was classified material found at his home on Friday, as well as the prior discovery at his house a few weeks ago?
So, look, again, there's going to be a lot of questions on this. I know my colleagues from the White House counsel's office has been pretty diligent on taking questions these last couple of days. There's going to be a call in less than an hour or so from my White House counsel office. And look, they're going to answer the questions from here. Any specifics to the Department of Justice, any specifics to this particular legal matter, I would refer you to the Department of Justice. I'm going to continue to be prudent from here. I'm going to continue to be consistent and make sure that those questions go to my colleagues in the White House counsel's office.
So it's important that we hone in on the aspect of, she keeps talking about these phone calls that reporters are having with the DOJ and the White House counsel, because it makes it seem like to the American public, oh, well, they're having phone calls, they're getting their questions answered. No, we're not. And it actually gets brought up in this White House press briefing by reporters going, look, we've had multiple conversations with these people and we're not getting any of our questions answered. So here's another reporter bringing up the fact that, hey, Biden's saying that he's taking this seriously. Why should Americans believe him with the fact that 4 sets of classified documents have been found? Is he really taking it seriously? Here's the question, and here's Karine Jean-Pierre's response.
Another question on the documents. You have said, though, from this podium many, many times over the last 2 weeks that this president takes the handling of classified material very seriously. And yet we continue to learn about more documents being found and discovered at his home, including now some that go back decades to his time in the Senate. So why should the American people believe that this president takes classified material seriously and the handling of it?
Look, the American people heard from the president directly on this when he was asked by your colleagues at least twice now about how he sees this process. And he was very clear with the response of what we're currently seeing. And he says, I take this very seriously. He said, I didn't know that the documents were there. And look, I think as it relates to the...
You guys, hand of God, how can you take classified documents seriously when literally they've been in your home, in your garage, in a Biden Penn Center, whatever the heck that may be in terms of where they were at in there? Like, how can you say you're taking it seriously when this has been going on since the 1970s? How? You're not taking it serious at all when you're a senator, when you're a vice president. Hell, makes you wonder what's going on while he's president. You can't take it seriously and continue this charade here when for decades he's had classified documents just sitting around his house and other places. Come on. It's unbelievable. The lying is just so out there. It's ridiculous.
The American people and the president standing with the American people, it is going to be up to them to decide how they see this president. Look, this is a president that came into office. 9 million people had lost their jobs. The unemployment rate was 6.3%, and hundreds of thousands of small businesses had closed their doors. And in the past 2 years, we've created nearly 11 million jobs. The unemployment rate is at a record low at 50-year record low. In the last 2 years were the best years for small businesses applications on record. We talked about that last week, just from here. The president has built the most significant legislative record since LBJ. Let's not forget, there's a CHIPS and Science Act, the bipartisan infrastructure legislation. I just walked through what he's going to see next week when he's traveling to Baltimore and also New York City. The Inflation Reduction.
Folks, if you're curious on what the hell I'm doing, just looking for what this has to do with the question about Joe Biden taking classified documents seriously and if the American public should take it seriously as well. Looked everywhere. Couldn't find it, couldn't hear it. Let me know if I missed it, folks. But as far as what this has anything to do with it, no idea. But, this is how Karine Jean-Pierre works. She saw it in her notebook, so she has to read off on it and start ad-libbing and going on some sort of cockamamie tangent here. So let's continue listening to the Knucklehead, because the questions will continue with this reporter here, and they're great questions. Let's let the Knucklehead finish, though.
Act, which is going to deal with lowering costs. So the president has been in office for the last 2 years focusing on the American people. And we saw that. We saw what the American people had to say during the midterms. As it relates to this ongoing legal matter, I would refer you to my colleagues at the White House Counsel. Again, they're going to be speaking with all of you in just less than an hour or so.
But I do want to ask one more time, because you have been the one messaging that he takes this seriously. You have also been saying over and over again that you are cooperating fully with this investigation.
That hasn't changed, Mary.
But given that, why then did it take several searches and the FBI coming in to uncover the full extent of the documents at his house?
I understand your question. I've said many times, the president has said many times, he takes this very seriously. You've heard directly from him. You just said that his team is cooperating fully. And just want to add, and you heard from his team that the FBI was invited into the president's home. I'm not going to go beyond that. That was in the statement that was released on Saturday. Again, these are questions that have been answered that have been answered from here. That has been answered for my colleagues. Anything else? My colleagues going to speak to all of you in just a few minutes, a few moments, and you can ask more intel and detail
one
questions.
thing that you just said. You just said the president said that he did not know the documents were there. I'm not actually sure he has said that clearly. Are you saying the president did not know?
Well, he said he was surprised. He said he was surprised.
Any of the documents?
He said he was surprised. I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm going to refer you to the White House counsel's office. I'm just repeating what he said, and he said.
What you just said. You said he did not know the documents were there.
He said he was surprised that the documents were there. He said that, and that he takes this very seriously. That's what I want to make sure that the American people understand. And I just refer.
American people might question that, given that you keep every few days it seems we are finding that more documents have been found at his house.
What I'm telling you is what the president has said, which is he takes this very seriously. I will refer you to detailed explanations from statements that have come from his personal lawyer. Again, anything further on this, my colleague is going to be taking your questions, Mary. In the 4 o'clock hour, I would refer you to them. Okay.
Again, you're going to see it brought up by a reporter. They're not getting their questions answered. She's lying. To give you an idea, folks, there was the first phone call with 200 reporters, and it lasted for 45 minutes. And some of the reporters are saying it was really 35 minutes. So who knows what's true and what isn't, but all 200 reporters aren't getting their questions answered. It gets brought up the fact that they're saying, look, we've called Joe Biden's personal lawyers like 4 times, and they're still not giving us answers, but yet they're being directed to them. So if you recall, Joe Biden said, hey, you know what? I have no regrets about this. And now Karine Jean-Pierre's getting questioned about Joe Biden saying that, of going, well, how can he have no regrets when the 4th set of classified documents was found on Friday? Like, how is that possible? How does he not have any regrets about this taking place for decades? And here's that exchange.
Okay. Thanks, Karine. The president said last week that he has no regrets when it comes to the handling of classified documents. Why doesn't he have regrets, given that classified documents keep turning up?
I talked about this last week. I'm not going to go beyond what the president said. Again, I would refer you to the White House counsel for anything further on this legal matter. Again, I spoke to this yesterday. Last Friday. I'm just not going to go beyond what the president.
That's not a legal question. It's about his statement from last week.
I understand, and I said I'm not going to go beyond what the president said, and I think it speaks for itself. I'm not going to go into what he meant or didn't meant. He laid it out.
That's her job. We said this on Sunday's episode. That's her job, is to speak on behalf of the president, elaborate on his thoughts, what he meant by something. That is literally your sole job, lady, and you're not doing it. Rumors are, you guys, this is the rumor, and I figure, we gotta spice this up a little bit. Supposedly, when Joe Biden announces his 2024 run, she's out. That's what we're hearing, that she's going to go back to being the communications director or something else. I know she doesn't communicate at all, but hell, at least she's not going to be front and center. Rumor is that maybe John Kirby's going to step up to the plate and take the helm, which I don't think is going to happen. I think that's, political suicide for him. But that's the rumor. Either she's going to get fired or she's going to get basically replaced by somebody else when Joe Biden announces 2024 run here. And God, please, she just needs to be gone because she's terrible. She is so terrible.
Said it to all of you when he was out I believe in California, when he answered one of your colleagues' question, or when he addressed this particular matter. I'm just not going to go into what he meant or didn't mean.
But going back to what Mary was asking, when the president says that he takes classified material and the handling of it very seriously, this weekend, top Senate Democrats who have known him for decades described this situation as unacceptable and completely irresponsible. What's the disconnect here?
They also said, if I may add, that the president is handling this in the appropriate fashion, that the president and his team has been completely complying completely with the investigation. They also said that. And so I will leave it up to their comments up to them. I'm not going to go beyond what they have said, but they also said that piece too, and I think it's important to note that they believe that the president has handled this properly as well.
Who's paying the president's private attorney on this matter?
I mean, it's his private attorney. So I would leave it. I would just say it's his private attorney. Any questions, anything in particular to this, I would ask the White House Counsel Office.
We've asked his private attorney at least 4 times, and they haven't given us an answer. Don't we deserve to know whether he's paying for it or
I hear you.
PAC?
No, I totally understand, Nancy. My colleague is going to be speaking to you momentarily. You can ask that question in that conversation, on the record conversation with all of you. Okay.
On Friday.
So there you have it, folks. They're just kicking the can down the road. Like I said on Sunday, the White House has gone dark on this whole thing. But it's not going to stop the press, and it's not going to stop us from trying to get answers here and exposing this White House for what they're doing. And boy, oh boy, there's a cover-up that might be going on here, and that actually gets brought up in this White House press briefing. We got a lot of stuff for you, folks. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Well, we got another reporter here asking, hey, on Friday, did the president know that his house was being searched? And did you know, Karine? Did you know the president's house was getting searched? Oh boy, folks, I hope you're sitting down for this one, because this one is good. Let's go.
Okay.
On Friday, when we were here, you were asked about the president going to Rehoboth and if that had anything to do with searches, and you declined to answer that. Did you know Friday there was a search going on at the president's home?
So I'll say this, and I think I said this on Friday as well. They go to Delaware almost every weekend. We put out guidance last Monday, as you know, Monday night, that they would be spending the weekend in Rehoboth. So it was indeed pre-planned. So just want to put that out there. And I'll just, mention what was said in the statement just on Saturday, which is the DOJ requested that the search not be made public in advance, in line with its standard procedures. And we did adhere to that. As you could understand, that is something that we are going to take very seriously. And it was, again, a request from DOJ for us to make sure that we did not make that public in advance.
Should we anticipate other searches are possible?
That part, I would definitely refer you to the White House Counsel's Office.
More broadly, given the fact that classified documents and their handling have been an issue, has the White House Counsel put out any guidance to staff members here who have the opportunity to interact with classified materials to just reaffirm how that should be done? Or has there been any follow-up on proper procedures for staffers? Not the president, not this circumstance.
Yeah. No, I understand the question. Again, you're going to have an opportunity to ask that very question to the White House Counsel's Office about if they're going to, what's their next steps as it relates to staff. That's something that's better for them to answer, and they'll be speaking to all of you momentarily.
It's amazing. So every briefing, you guys, since this whole debacle has been going on, she's been asked, are there more documents out there? And we always say, do you think there's more documents out there? Because that same answer has been given. There might just be a fifth set out there. Could you imagine? Oh my God. I mean, the saga would continue with these classified documents. It's endless. It's endless. Who really knows, you guys? I mean, Joe Biden literally said the search was over. She said the search was over. Then they go back on Friday during a 12-hour search of the man's home, and they find more. What else could be laying around? What else? Oh, God. Well, folks, we got Peter Doocy, the man, the myth, the legend, the gladiator. Step it up. Holy Lordy, Fox News finally gets a question, because Jackie Heinrich just the other day was completely dodged by Karine Jean-Pierre, and it makes you wonder, you guys. It makes you wonder, because that was Friday. And Friday, guess what was happening at Joe Biden's home? Oh, a raid. And that's where they found the fourth set of documents. So it's interesting that she doesn't take any questions from Fox News on the day that the raid was happening because maybe she didn't want to be exposed. Joe Biden's house was being raided. So now that it's done, she's been exposed. She knew about it and told nobody. And now she was caught here because, you know, she can't sit there and say we're being transparent. When you're not being transparent, you didn't. You can't say that word anymore, Karine. You got Peter Ducey here asking top-notch questions. Let's let Peter do the work, folks. Let's hear it.
From this president. Go ahead, Peter.
Thank you, Karine. When you found out that the FBI had located even more classified materials in Wilmington, which four-letter word did you use?
Oh my goodness, Peter.
Can't say. Okay.
Folks, are we getting some behind-the-scenes stuff going on here? I know that we can't, okay, so I can't cuss on YouTube anymore. I mean, the fact that I said the word hell, I might get demonetized. I'm not even kidding. Like, that's not a joke. Did she say the F word, folks? What did she say behind closed doors, huh? Maybe she's going, what the? Maybe she said the word hell, now that I think about it. Maybe she said, what the hell is Joe doing? Are you bleeping kidding me? I mean, who knows what she could have said? Who knows? But let me know in the comments. Folks, careful with the comment section, okay, huh? They're coming for us, folks. They're coming for us. They're big tech. They're against us, all right? So just be careful. Use the hyphens and stuff, whatever you got to use to get your point across here. But let me know what you think she said.
President Biden is still intending to run for re-election in 2024, right?
I'll just repeat what the president said after the midterm election, which is he intends to run. I'm going to be very careful from here, as you know, because we are covered by the Hatch Act, and I'm not going to speak further to his process.
Is there a precedent for people running for president after FBI agents search their sock drawer?
Say that one more time. Say that beginning part.
Is there a precedent for people running for president after FBI
It sounds like
agents?
It sounds like you already know that the answer to that question. Look, here's what
I don't know the answer to that question.
Here's
An FBI search of a president's residence is a big deal.
Here's what the president's going to focus on. He's going to focus on continuing to deliver for the American people. That's his focus. That's what he.
This is where you all start hysterically laughing. What? Delivering what? More debt? Oh, goody. Increase our taxes probably? Oh, goody. Right? Having terrible foreign affairs? Oh, goody. Sending billions of dollars to Ukraine? Oh, goody. Oh, man, I'm loving this. This is awesome. The fact that I can't find any eggs at the grocery store. My grocery bill has like doubled. Oh, no. Please, Joe, pour it on, buddy. You're doing a great job delivering to the American people. You know what you're delivering? They're delivering a freaking middle finger to all of us. That's what they're delivering. They don't give two about us whatsoever. But, you know, Joe Biden's taking all this seriously, folks. You guys, he's not taking anything seriously. Not even his classified documents. He's literally breaking records still. He broke the record for illegal immigration again. Again. On December. Over 250,000 people literally crossed the border illegally. Still breaking records. What's next? What's next, Karine?
Focuses on every day. That's what he's been focusing on the last 2 years. And nothing is going to change that. You think about the bipartisan infrastructure legislation, you think about the Inflation Reduction Act, you think about the CHIPS and Science Act, the bipartisan one, the last two that I mentioned, done in a bipartisan way. That's what the president wants to do. He wants to continue to deliver on his economic plan that is going to build the economy from the bottom up, middle out.
And
that is what matters to the president.
The House Oversight Committee chairman says this document situation has all the makings of a potential cover-up. Is President Biden involved in a cover-up?
We have been very clear here from this administration. The president has been very clear that he takes this very seriously when it comes to classified information, when it comes to classified documents, and that his team has been fully cooperative with this legal matter. Anything else, Peter? And I'm going to be very serious. You asked me kind of a question that everybody laughed at, which was...
She didn't say no. That should worry everybody. She didn't say no. That was our speculation. Was there a cover-up? That was our speculation. She didn't say no. Layup. like a layup of a question. She didn't. I know I'm repeating myself, but you guys. What? Something's there. Something's there. Follow the money, folks. Ukraine, Hunter Biden. To Joe, Joe gives weapons and money to Ukraine, and it's a vicious circle. Dan Bongino, thank you for that.
Interesting question to ask, but any other underlying questions that you may have, I would refer you to my colleagues, the White House counsel. I'm going to continue to be prudent. I'm going to continue to be consistent and refer you to any questions you have there.
That is crazy. That is crazy that she didn't say no. Something's going on. When's it going to come out? I don't know. I don't know. But it's not just Peter showing up with the questions, folks. It's not just NBC and CBS and everybody showing up for this stuff, all right? Of course we are too, but we got the man, the myth, the other gladiator, Philip Wegman of Real Clear Politics, getting spicy here with Karine Jean-Pierre. Now, I would like to think from what I've seen, Phil's pretty reserved for the longest time, and I still don't know the answer to this, whether he's a Democrat or Republican, and I don't care. Hand to God, if he was a Democrat, I'd still love the guy. He does a good job, but he's getting frustrated too here. They have to show up every day. They wake up early. These people work crazy hours, you guys. They're hustlers, man. These people are hustlers in a good way. Get spicy here with her because look what she's been doing to these people, man. She's not answering any of their questions, and they're frustrated, and I think Phil here is a little bit frustrated, and he pushes back, and I think rightfully so. I think the way he handles it is very professional, but, I just haven't seen the man in this light before, and, Phil, I want to say welcome. That's bad. I'm frustrated, dude. I appreciate the pushback, but, man, we're all a little frustrated here. I'm sure you are as well. Let's hear what he has to say.
Go ahead, Phil.
Thank you. When you and the White House and the President all say that the President takes these classified documents very seriously, without commenting on the ongoing legal issue, what would you point us to that would demonstrate that seriousness?
I'm going to really refer you to the White House counsel's office. I am. I'm going.
You can't tell us how
I am.
So the President continues to say that he takes it
Well,
seriously, and you can't demonstrate how he takes it seriously?
Let me finish my answer. I'm gonna refer you to the White House counsel's office, and I'm gonna refer you to the statements that you've received from his personal lawyer. I'm going to refer you to the 45 minutes of conversation, of back and forth that my colleague has had with all of you last week. He's about to do another one where you can ask questions about this particular legal matter. Again, that's where this belongs. That's where I'm going to refer you to. But again, you've seen the statements. You've heard from the president a couple of times. You've heard from his personal lawyer. You've heard from the White House counsel's office. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
On a different topic. Sure.
Okay, so switch his topic, right? Because the same message. It's going to be the same message, you guys. I mean, the stuff we did find out, though, there might be a cover-up. There might be more documents out there. Might be a fifth set of documents, folks, so the saga could continue. Phil does a great job here of exposing the fact that the president says he's taking things seriously, but he's not. And he hasn't been taking anything seriously since, the 70s, since the documents have been there for multiple decades, longer than I've been alive. But, hey, you know what? Get me on that phone call. Can somebody get me on that phone call? Can you imagine? Get me on the phone call, folks. I won't be rude, okay? I'll be professional. I'll even wear a suit, okay? I understand it's on the phone. I'll be a good boy, okay? All right? Just get me on the phone call to ask a few questions here, all right? And I can talk about it on my show, and boy, oh boy, we'll get the stuff out there for everybody. But, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm an average American that can't be trusted. I don't know, because I'm a MAGA supporter, right? I'm pro-Trump, and all of a sudden I'm all these things, and ultra-MAGA, and, a threat to democracy, and all this silly stuff. But there you go, folks. I mean, the saga continues, and we're going to milk it. Oh, like I've said this very clear. You guys might be going, oh, God, another episode of this. Oh, we're going to milk it, folks. There could be something here, and I want to be there since the beginning. The grassroots of GarageGate, the grassroots of the classified documents scandal from Joe Biden. We could say we were there since the beginning, right? We've been following it. There might be a book opportunity out of this. Heck, I don't know. But I'm having a lot of fun, folks, hanging out with y'all. You guys are freaking great. The live chat is streaming. The comment section is going. Folks, we're having a blast on these mornings. As always, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. It really does help the algorithm send our videos out there to new videos or new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. So it basically bypasses the human interaction with YouTube here, who knows that they're freaking shadow banning us. So thank you so much, folks. I'll see you tomorrow here on The Bill Brad Show.